Many thanks for joining us. I am Rita Omodia. We'll be giving this story here where the Nigerian Senate has warned the Judiciary against interfering in its activities, harping on the need for separation of powers. This position by the Senate during Thursday's plenary is equal to a ruling by Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court. Presenting a motion on the matters of urgent public importance, the Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio says the judiciary needs to stay its course as the direction it has taken with respect to the ruling on Electoral Act amendment has a likelihood of resulting in similar actions that could stall the functions of the parliament.
Against the Senate, kind of restraining the Senate from looking further into the issue of the electoral bill just recently, something that I believe it's totally bipartisan.
It's democracy at work. I don't believe with that amendment. I voted against it. I'll vote against it tomorrow. But it behoves on me to talk to my colleagues to see the way I see it.
In his contribution, the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, said it is important that all arms of government work towards the sustenance of Nigeria's democracy, stressing the need for greater commitment in that respect.
Very, very clear. The principles is very, very clear. And the opinion shared by both the leader and the minority leader, I'm sure, is the opinion of all of us. What is important is for us to sustain this democracy, build on these institutions.
In the meantime now, the Nigerian Senate has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to mandate the military and police to head to Kogi State to bring the disturbing security situation there under control after 20 people were killed by suspected Fulani herdsmen Wednesday. This resolution at the Red Chamber of the National Assembly is equal to a motion by the Senator Atai Adoko representing Kogi Central, presenting it as a matter of urgent public importance coming on the 42 of the Senate rules. Galaxy's Godfrey Shemoge reports that Senator Idoko says the suspected Fulani herdsmen in the early hours of Wednesday overran villages in Nomala and Dekina local government areas, resulting in over 20 deaths and villages displaced.
Immediate action, and Mr. President, the worrisome part is that another dimension has entered into this one. Genocide is going on. Now, 5 people yesterday have been amputated. They will catch them, cut off one of their hands, and allow them to go.
Senator Dino Melaya, a lawmaker from Kogi State, and some of his colleagues say addressing the recent killings and other security concerns in the different parts of the country will require greater commitment of the government.
What is happening in Kogi is not, Mr. President, a news. And we expected it when my own governor told the world that anywhere they chase a Fulani man away, that Kogi State is open.
Distinguished Senator Marafa has told us here that information was given in the Zamfara case to the same security people, and the governor was dancing Arabanco somewhere else and left the security he's supposed to. Is that not what you said?
And of course, there is a CP in Kogi, Konakocha. When we were sworn in to protect lives and properties, what is that youthful governor of Kogi State doing?
Senators Ahmed Lawan and Kabiru Marafa on their part say blaming killings on Fulani herdsmen may be both wrong and unfair.
Fulani, the most innocent Fulani man, will start to think, oh, this is something against his people, and he will sympathize with them.
Is it the person wearing cattle? Or are we talking of Fulani? Because a lot of these Fulanis today doesn't even have these cattle. Most of the cattle today are being owned by the elites. And some of them move around with it.
In his ruling, Senate President Bukola Saraki says it is time for the perpetrators of the Kogi killings to be brought to book.
But as said, we must see that sanction, we must see that people are punished, and this must be something that must be done and held them accountable.
The Senate, which observed a minute's silence for the over 20 people killed in Kogi State Wednesday, also resolved that Nigeria's relief agency NEMA goes to the areas worst hit by the incident and provide relief materials to the scores of displaced residents. And now the House of Representatives is set to investigate the alleged importation of military equipment and uniforms by the Kogi State government. The House also invited the Nigeria Customs Service to explain why the service did not arrest the importer who is not constitutionally empowered to procure arms into the country. The resolutions emanated from a motion moved under matters of urgent public importance by Sunday Karimi during plenary in Abuja. He noted with dismay that instead of Nigeria Customs Service to promptly arrest the importer for importing military hardware, the service requested for an end-user certificate. The lawmaker revealed that there have been reported cases of assassination and threats to the lives of politicians and public officials who have divergent political views from that of the state governor.
When Mordecai went to Esther and said, if you remain in the confines of the palace and think your life is safe, God will send a deliverance to his people.
Contributing to the motion, lawmakers express worry over the security challenges bedeviling the country. They stress the need for stakeholders to check the importation of these small arms and light weapons to curb the spate of attacks and criminality in some parts of the country.
I visited Turkey, and that issue came up as one of the items that was discussed. My question now is that what has been done? The person that actually imported that arm, what have they done to him?
Each one of us can ask ourselves the question, how many vehicles does the federal government bought for the police in your state? In Lagos State, we bought hundreds, thousands of vehicles every year.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives, as at Thursday plenary, called for the need to review the age-long Nigeria's foreign policy to conform with current realities. This follows a motion sponsored by Honorable Tajuddin Obasa, Ojo Federal Constituency of Lagos State. Obasa noted that since Nigeria gained independence from Great Britain in 1960, it has always maintained a policy of Afrocentrism by having the African continent as a centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign centrism. He expressed concern on the hostile manner in which some African countries like South Africa, Liberia, and Sierra Leone had treated Nigerian citizens living in those countries.
The motion needs to review Nigeria's foreign policy to conform to current reality. The House notes that since Nigeria gained independence from Great Britain in 1960, it has always maintained a policy of Afrocentrism by having the African continent as the central piece of Nigeria's foreign policy.
Other members who contributed to the motion said there is a need to review the country's foreign policy because Nigeria has in the past played a significant role in liberating most African countries.
The centerpiece of Nigerian foreign policy was based on Africa as a centerpiece. We have participated in the liberation of most colonies that have become nations. We have played a significant role in ending apartheid.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in speaking to this motion, I'd like to say that Nigeria's core objectives, the core objectives of Nigeria's foreign policy are clearly enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And to that end, Mr. Speaker, sir, his motion that says keeping Nigeria's core interests.
The House resolved that the federal government should urgently review its policy to be in tandem with modern trends where the economic and national interests of a nation are considered a serious factor in the conduct of foreign policy, and also mandate its Committee on Foreign Affairs to ensure implementation. Now in Benue State, another funeral service ceremony has been held today for 26 victims killed by Fulani herdsmen on Monday last week. The funeral service took place in Okpoga in Okpoku local government area of Benue State where the governor Samuel Ortom, his deputy, and several other prominent sons and daughters were in attendance. About 20 coffins containing the remains of the slain victims were brought before the community for prayers to be offered. The state chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Akpen Leva, in his homily, admonished the people to look unto God, as only Him is our helper in times of needs and challenges.
Our loved ones who were murdered in cold blood. It's a helpless situation. It is a hopeless situation. Where shall we find consolation? Where shall we find help? I want to assure all of us that our help will come from God.
Different speakers at the occasion who expressed bitterness over the continuous killings in the state called on the federal government and international community to brace up and arrest the situation before Nigeria heads to another Rwanda.
Bigger charters that we subscribe to. And in the fulfillment of this charter, we have gone out in ECOMOG to restore peace in other countries. This is the time for us to do the needful and restore peace in central Nigeria. Federal government to do the needful and take a very solid stand. We saw Operation Python Dance. We saw Operation Crocodile Smile.
Governor Samuel Ortom, who commiserated with people and family of the 26 victims, said over 140 headsmen have been arrested with 3 convictions for violation of the law, saying that such arrests will continue as long as they violate the anti-open grazing law.
You want to rear cattle in Benue State, you must ranch them. You want to do open grazing, find other states where they are doing open grazing. For us in Benue State, once you come, you'll be apprehended.
Meanwhile, Barrister Michael Jabo, spokesman of the Opoga community, thanked Benue State government for assistance given to the families of the victims and support so far since the incidents.
And sisters have been murdered in cold blood. Since the incident on the 5th of March, the Benue State government and all the people responsible have not let us down.
Now, reactions have continued to trail the recent upsurge of killings in different parts of the country. These reactions are coming on the heels of manslaughter in Plateau, Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa State, despite the president's working visit to these states. Speaking to Galaxy News, legal practitioners in Lagos share more light on the state of the nation's security and the challenges that come with modernization. Our correspondent, Dogara Wimbritis, brings us the report.
On Monday, while President Muhammadu Buhari was meeting with stakeholders in Plateau State, suspected Fulani headsmen were allegedly busy killing people, and these killings have continued unabated in the state. Also in Benue State, when the president visited, herdsmen went on rampage, killing citizens. Nigerians have reacted to this trend.
Is a power given to them by the Constitution. The Constitution specifically gave them the powers to make laws. And then if you go to section 4.2, the Constitution gave them powers to make laws for good governance, peace of the nation or any part thereof. So the power to make laws is vested on the National Assembly. So giving it to the president is for the president to look at the laws to say, okay, I'm in conformity with this. I'm at the same page, on the same page with you.
Section 14 of the Constitution, paragraph C, mentions vividly, candidly, unambiguously, that the security of lives or property shall be the essence of governance. Where we are in today, that particular provision is in breach rather than obedience. It's a very sad day for the country, for the citizens at large.
Similarly, while the Fulani headsman menace seems to be on the rise, Nigerians have been forced to look at the historical and remote course of this crisis.
It's a violation of the Constitution. Secretary of the National Assembly. Though the Constitution in the Article 5 of the third schedule did mention that INEC has the right to supervise, to appoint dates, and then supervise conduct of the election. That wanted that bill to still be in force and voted against the withdrawal of assent of the president. Once they have that majority, once they have that number, then it becomes law.
However, all hope is not lost on the redemption of the country from the Fulani farmers' face-off, as solutions have been preferred on how to end the crisis amicably.
There's no two way forward than for Mr. President to put on his thinking cap and arrest this situation, because the number of people that are being killed on a daily basis is harassing the psychology of individuals.
It's not developed a kind of a framework that will enable something that will be very, very effective to be put in place in order to checkmate the recurrence of all these crises. So the problem now is that there should be ranching. People are talking about ranching. Cattle should be ranched.
While the president continues on his nationwide tour of state, it is yet to be seen if this visit will provide lasting solution to challenges threatening the nation's unity or worsen the situation.
Still to come, Army University of Technology Establishment Committee visits ONU. Details of this and other stories when Galaxy News returns. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Galaxy TV News. For our latest news and updates, log on to our website www.galaxytvonline.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel youtube.com/GalaxyTV9. You can also follow, interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV, or tweet at GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. Still on the news now, the Minister of Science and Technology has called for the use of indigenous languages in the teaching of science and technology in schools across the country. This, he said, will help students master easily and better understand the complexity of science and technology. Dr. Onu, who made the call when he received a delegation from the proposed Nigerian Army University of Science and Technology. The minister lamented that previous administrations could not establish such needed institution to boost military capacity, but relied on importation for military equipment and services.
Produce locally many of the things that we need as a nation. We believe that we can do it. We believe that it's something that must be done. And we also believe that in addition to meeting our own needs, we should be in a position to export the balance to other nations.
The leader of the group, Major General Matthias Efeoboam, retired, said the visit was to solicit the minister's support in fast-tracking the approval of the university, while stating the important role its establishment will play in the country.
They have asked, how are you going to relate with the Ministry of Science and Technology? Well, we say that is the parent ministry for science and technology. And we are going to make this place our second home.
Now to security, the Ogun State Police Command has arrested a suspected murderer, one Lekon Adebisi, who hacked and snuffed lives out of 2 primary school pupils of St. John Anglican Primary School, Agodo, in Ogun Waterside local government area of the state on Monday. Speaking to newsmen on what led to his dastardly act, 28-year-old Lekon Adebisi said his action was born out of frustration and he regrets his actions. Parading the suspect, Ogun State Commissioner of Police Ahmed Iliasu said a thorough search and bushcombing was engaged through combined efforts of the police. While appealing to residents of the state not to relent in giving useful information to the police boss urged everyone to report suspicious persons to the police.
Than even 2 weeks, because it was not, but it's up to 3 weeks. Sorry. I did not eat anything.
Their efforts paid off. In the early hours of Wednesday, 14th March 2018, when the suspect was accosted in the bush at J4 area of Ogbere, while trying to escape to Ijebode, the suspect, who was brandishing a sharp cutlass, became hostile and, in his bid to resist arrest, attacked the team, consequent upon which he was shot and injured on the leg.
Away from that, in a bid to develop and complement the federal government's drive in agribusiness and enhance food security across every stratum of Nigerian society, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has commissioned over 11,000 hectares of oil palm plantation in the state. Governor Obaseki also called on multinational companies in the country to emulate Okumu oil by keying into the federal government food security initiatives. He made this call while commissioning over 11,000 hectares of oil palm plantation as he harped on the need for states to key into federal government agribusiness and creating a viable economy.
As government, we will be pushing for further reforms to support the oil palm industry in Nigeria.
Managing Director Okumu Oil Palm thanked the Edo State government and the host communities for their support in realizing the new plantation extension, while the Chairman Board of Trustees promised to provide over 200,000 jobs.
Urgent queries of all our communities. We very much support you and rely on you to work together as partners.
But all I wanted to put on record is our company's continued support for the current state and federal executive initiatives in the oil palm industry.
More